Hello there. I wanted to take just a moment while I had the chance. I realized that my sword rack was full of different Ito material handles, and I thought I would just take a minute to talk about what they are and why I like them in comparison to others. So we'll start from the top. This is a black leather over black Samegawa. Leather's really nice. It has a nice kind of clean, crisp look to it, and it seems to hold up well in terms of basic handling and whatnot. I find that with leather, though, what can happen is it can, if it stretches or something, it doesn't necessarily bounce back super well. So if the leather loosens, it loosens in like big gobs, and it can come undone in that regard. But I don't usually have too much problem with it, and it looks really nice in terms of overall output. I really like just how clean and clear the lines are, and really how classy it looks. This is just a battle wrap type piece. The next type of Ito that I'll tell you about is Tsunami, and I tend to use this quite a bit when I commission projects and whatnot. Here you can see olive green Ito, and here you can see the same Ito, but we have large nodule white Same and we have small nodule black Samegawa underneath. The green Ito really makes the Rokusho fittings pop out. I love the look of it next to copper with a kind of red and dark and orangey Rokusho pattern on it, or patina. The Tsunami Ito feels great in your hand. It doesn't have the same kind of really clean, crisp look. It's a little fuzzy. It almost has like a suede appearance, but it feels really comfortable in your hand. It cleans up really easily. It makes the sword easy to handle if like your hands get sweaty or something while you're drawing, or wet if you're cutting water bottles or tatami or something like that. It doesn't slip very easily, and it holds up and doesn't show signs of wear very easily. Comes in a lot of colors, and it just feels really good in the hand from a practitioner standpoint. This is my Iaito, and it's wrapped in a silk, and you can see I've used it over, well, for quite a while now, and everything is still tight. Silk isn't bad, but it shows signs of aging, and really the only gripe I have about silk, or at least the major one, is that you see it on everything. So it kind of loses some of the luster that way, and you don't see Tsunami or leather on blades as much, but you see silk a lot. Now silk can look nice. Here's a black Japanese silk on my Iaito. Here's a black silk over a black Samegawa. Silk is certainly not a bad substance. It doesn't show wear very easily, but it's tough to clean, and you know, it certainly can show signs of wear. Leather, in terms of how it looks dressed up, this is an example of a leather Ito over what, Samegawa, but the Same's been lacquered and then kind of cleaned off. So you can see that the black lacquer has just gone between the nodules, and it really makes them stand out. I mean, if you compare this large nodule Samegawa here to this one, it really, I mean, those nodules just pop out quite a bit. And I think it adds an element of texture to it. I've done had it done. I certainly haven't done it. I don't have the dexterity to do so, but I've had this kind of look done on quite a number of Tsukas. This is the Tsuka from the Rick Barrett katana that I did a review on, and I had it rewrapped and had the Samegawa kind of brought out. Here's that same look over the Fred Lohman Tsunami Ito in black. The black is kind of fuzzy. Sometimes they're fuzzy and sometimes they're a little crisper. But again, from a practitioner standpoint, this is on a Howard Clark sword. It's just very comfortable in your hand. I don't think it necessarily looks the best. It looks kind of like suede or doeskin, but it feels just really wonderful in the hand. Here's the Tsunami Ito in blue, and I can tell from my camera that you're not necessarily getting the same blue. It's a really deep, rich, kind of navy blue, and it looks a little brighter, I think, on my camera than it does in person. But a beautiful color, and I think it really comes out well. I think the blue Ito is probably the most surprising in terms of pretty. I'm not usually a blue katana kind of guy, but I do admit I really like the way this color came out. This is a brown Tsunami Ito. You can tell maybe I'm a little bit of a fan of the Tsunami, right? Underneath here is a doeskin, and I believe that this katana has been handled quite a bit more than this wakizashi. Neither one of them have cut anything, and they've just been used for some simple handling. But you can see that this one has aged substantially more and shows more high sign of handling than the other one does. Both are still very tight. You know, I don't have any gripes over, you know, how functional either one of them are, but you can see that where your hand would grab the sword in comparison to the rest of the Ito, there's a lot more sign of handling. I don't know if Doeskin absorbs your hand oils or just rubs or, you know, gets a sheen in a different way. But in any case, it shows handling substantially more than its counterpart, which has been handled arguably quite a bit more. So that's just an example in the contrast. Doeskin looks really clean and crisp. It's a good combination between leather and the suede look that Tsunami gives you, but a little classier. But I think this is a pretty big trade-off that it shows such a sign of handling. And I've seen that in a Hanwei Tori XL blade that I used to have. The same type of thing, just kind of handling it and moving around with the blade will leave this kind of you know, indication of handling on the blade, or change the cosmetic look of it, where you don't necessarily see that in Tsunami, where, you know, this for example has been handled quite a bit. You can see it in silk, but this is developed over a lot of time. This Ito is about 12 years old. I got it used, and the condition really hasn't degraded too much since I've been using it over the last year or two. So you know, that's quite a bit different in terms of this being used regularly and this being handled, I mean, basically to clean it. So that degradation in Doeskin, in terms of degradation, isn't fair. It's still very functional and fine, but the look of it looking like it's been handled and through battle is not so nice, and you don't get that in silk. Now, the rest of these haven't really been handled, but I would say Tsunami tends to hold up the best in terms of cotton, silk, leather, doeskin, suede. I would say that Tsunami seems to hold up really well. Leather is probably going to be the least likely to show age for the time, but then I've seen it degrade and it doesn't necessarily go well. Anyway, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this mildly interesting. I thought I would just snap a quick video while I happen to have this stuff out, and I thought you might find it interesting. So cheers and thanks for watching.